Sorry if it's a little echoey, but this is like a new room in my house. My parents put on a little addition while I was gone, so I decided to make a video in here. It's also like not really commonly used, so it's quiet. But anyway, so this video is about like culture shock, or mostly like just reverse culture shock. So culture shock is basically like how you deal with being confronted with like a different culture. So, you know, that would be leaving your, like America, for example, like me, I'm American, and going to Japan and seeing those differences, and sometimes you feel angry, sometimes you feel sad and lonely, like it affects everyone differently. But I don't know, like I've never really been affected by culture shock. I really haven't. It's more strong for me, it's much stronger for me when I come back to America, I've noticed. So I wanted to make a video about what it was like for me. Or really just like what shocked me. The first and definitely like the most shocking to me was like casual conversations. Like I was sitting in the airport in Japan still, and these two Americans, like were sitting across from me at the gate, just started talking to me. And I was like, this is so weird. Like I've lived a whole year with hardly anyone having casual conversations with me. It was just like how do I deal with this? Like it was like really weird. It was really weird. And it's still weird. And I've been here for a few weeks now, and it's still weird for random people to start talking to me. So yeah, because I mean in Japan, like people ignore each other on the train. They like don't talk to each other in lines at the supermarket. You know, it's like very rare for people to just talk to you. It happened to me once recently, like, but they were like young guys. They were sitting next to me and knew that I was a foreigner with with luggage. Like I was on my way to the airport, so they talked to me. But other than that, like, you know, for the most part, no one really talks to you. So that was very shocking because Americans do that all the time. Like you look at each other in line and like, oh, this line is so long. Like you're not saying anything important, you know. So I don't know, but that was really shocking, and I really like for maybe like maybe definitely for about like 20 minutes after that conversation, I was like, wow, what just happened? All right, so number two. Just seeing people of various backgrounds. So that didn't really happen so much until I got to the airport in San Francisco, where there were just, because it was a domestic flight that I was waiting for, so it was like mostly Americans, some tourists, but mostly Americans, and like, you know, there were like Hispanic people, Caucasian people, black people, every type of person was like waiting for this plane. And like, I mean, I have foreign friends, but you know, like I've never, for a whole year, I hadn't seen like a group of foreigners that large for a whole year. Like, it was like really weird. And also, this sort of goes along with it, but this is number three, but the people next to me waiting for the plane were speaking Spanish to one another, and I was like, whoa, like I haven't heard Spanish for a whole year. And like, I don't speak Spanish, I don't, you know what I mean? But like, that's like an everyday thing, you know, like going to the supermarket, walking around, like there are going to be Spanish people speaking Spanish. Or like people, you know, like where I come from, we have like a lot of like Paraguayans, they speak Spanish. So yeah, it was really weird. And you know, there were people speaking Chinese, like when I went to try to find some food. Like it was just really crazy, like how many languages were in one place. you know, like, because living in Japan, it's, you know, 98% Japanese and then, you know, a little bit of English, mostly, you know, broken English in advertisements or me teaching English or speaking with foreign friends. But most of the time it's Japanese. So that was really strange for me. Next, number 4, was the fact that there's no rice. Like, I mean, there is, but like the typical meal in America is like the starch is usually like bread or potatoes, whereas in Japan, the starch is rice. So for every single day for a year, I've been eating rice. And I haven't been eating rice for like, I don't know, almost 3 weeks now. And it's really weird. It's really weird. And I actually kind of miss it a lot. But for the first week, I like half expected there to be rice at dinner. And then I was like, why am I expecting there to be rice? And in terms of food too, just American food is much heavier than Japanese food. Whereas like we'll have like a steak or a hamburger, they'll have like little strips of beef. So Japanese food is generally lighter, easier to digest. American food is heavier, more difficult to digest. So there's some more changes. Yeah, and number 5, I don't know if this would apply to everyone everywhere in America. Actually, I don't think it would apply to everyone everywhere. But where I live in New Jersey, there are trees everywhere, and like really, really big, really old trees. A lot of really big, fluffy maple trees, and pine trees and oak trees, like really big, beautiful green trees. And where I've been living in Japan, like there's like no trees. I mean, there are, but they're not this big, they're not this fluffy, they're not like this abundant. Like when I look at my town on Google Maps, like you can hardly see any houses because they're mostly sheltered by these huge trees. So, and it's completely different where I'm from and where I live in Japan. So yeah, I didn't realize that I missed the trees that much. But it's really nice to be around them. But it was like weird at first to not be able to always see the sky. So yeah, it was definitely a change. I really missed the trees, but you know, I still love Japan. So this says a reminder, I am going back to Japan. I'm leaving the US on the 23rd. I'll be arriving in Japan on the 24th. I will be very jet lagged and tired for a few days. So I don't know if I'll be making a video that week, but I'll try to. Maybe a video if I encounter any more culture shock things upon returning to Japan. We'll see. But I did promise this video, and I hope it was like enlightening in some way. I never felt depressed or angry or anything like that related to my reverse culture shock, but I was definitely shocked by those things. So I hope you guys are having a great summer, and I hope you guys have some time off to go visit some places and family and friends, and yeah. So thanks for watching, guys.